Abdul-Baha explained that the existence of living things signifies composition, and their death decomposition. But the universal matters and the elements do not become absolutely annihilated and destroyed. No, their non-existence is simply transformation. For instance, when man is annihilated, it becomes dust. It does not become absolutely non-existence. It still exists in the shape of dust, but transformation has taken place. So this composition is accidentally decomposed. The annihilations of other beings is the same. For existence does not become absolute non-existence, and absolute non-existence does not become existence. Fundamentally, all existing things pass through the same degree and phases of development. The cellular elements or atoms that enter the combination of human organism were one time part of the mineral kingdoms. Whilst in that kingdom, it went through myriads of changes in evolution of that kingdom, that these atoms eventually become part of the nutrients of the soil, and the roots of the trees and plants absorb these nutrients to its kingdoms, and these atoms are now transferred to the vegetable kingdom. And the animal consume the fruits of these trees and plants, and these atoms are now transferred to the animal kingdoms. And we human consume the meat of the animal as well as the fruits of these trees and plants, and these atoms are now transferred to the human kingdom. And when we die, our physical body begins the process of decomposition, and these atoms are now transferred from the human kingdom back to the mineral kingdom. This transferring of the atoms is continuously in a perfect regularity and in a perfect order. But all of these kingdoms, except man, according to Abdul-Baha, is under the rules and controls of nature. None can escape the rules of nature. The colossal sun cannot deviate a hair's breadth from the rules of nature. The bulky elephant with its mighty power and strength cannot escape the controls of nature. But the diminutive being, through the power of his mind, an inherent property of his soul, a divine reality that man possesses, that distinguishes him from the animals, enables him to break the rules of nature and even use nature to his advantage. For instance, according to the rules of nature, man's body is heavy and supposed to stay on the surface of the earth. Man break that rule of nature and imitate the bird and soar the skies in aeroplanes. According to the rules of nature, man cannot stay underwater for a long period of time. He won't be able to breathe and he will die. Man break that rule of nature and invented submarines and sound the depths of the ocean. One of the great power of nature is the power of electricity. This violent force was kept in a secret chamber of nature, and according to nature, it should stay there forever. Man, through the inventive power of his mind, an inherent property of his soul, a divine reality that man possesses that distinguishes him from the animals, enables him to break through this secret chamber of nature and brought this violent force from the invisible plane to the visible plane. and imprisonate in glass globe and fluorescent tubes. It's clear that man possesses a divine reality that distinguishes him from the animals and makes him control the rules and break the rules of nature and even use nature to his advantage. And that divine reality is the human soul that Abdul-Baha explained is a one indivisible substance, and it's not a composition of elements. It's not necessary for it to decompose. Therefore, it lives on eternally, everlasting, after the decomposition of the physical body. But our souls, according to Abdul-Baha, has two aspects. One is divine or angelic, the other is satanic. If we allowed justice, trustworthy characters, and all the virtues into our lives will become divine or angelic. But if we allowed injustice, hatred, untrustworthy characters, and all the vices into our lives will become satanic. And we are under the influence of two forces, according to Abdul-Baha, the thought force and the animal force, and they are partners. Each one is trying to pull or drag our souls to be under its control. And according to Abdul-Baha, we are subjected to the power of the lust. I'll use myself here to demonstrate the point. If we are subjected to the power of the lust and I watch pornography, I'm not helping my thought force. In fact, I'm helping my animal force to take control and subsequently conquer the divine or angelic aspect of my soul, and I'll become a Satan. When I reach that stage of Satan, all my thoughts will be evil. Every woman I see on the street will be tempered with and interfered with my imagination, and vice versa. There's only one way for humanity to heighten their spirituality and reach the divine or angelic aspect of their souls, and that is through the creative power of the words and teachings of the manifestations of God. And today, the words and teachings of His Holiness Baha'u'llah, whose teachings are gradually permeating human society. Thank you, and I wish you well. Whaftai lava, manuia lava, whawhonga mai lava, sausanga Samoa, soifua.